Youngster Philip Kirby dreamt of winning the FA Cup. These days, though, it's the Cheltenham Gold Cup he'd really like to get his hands on. The North Yorkshire trainer started life as a footballer, but he's been rather more successful with horses. This weekend, two of the stable's leading lights are in action. Tanya Arnold went along to Philip's yard near Catterick.
I thought I was going to be a footballer to start with, and that didn't quite work out long term, but always wanted to be into the racing. My dad was actually a greyhound trainer, so I've grown up with racing of every type, and we were all into the horses. And then I tried to be a jockey. Obviously, I'm not exactly the right size for that. My first ride was a winner, and then it fairly quickly went downhill after that. I trained to be a farrier, and from there on, I trained a few horses at the same time, and things had just developed. We had 3 1 year, and then now I think we're up to nearly 100 on the yard, so things have gone quickly, fairly big.
Philip Kirby was living in Whitby but commuting to his stables in Midland when a friend and he decided to build their own yard in the village of East Appleton near Catterick. He moved in 2016.
There's loads of land, there's obviously our own gallops. It's been purpose built, so everything's exactly how you would, or how I thought it should be. Everything's practical and it's just nice, and everything's together. It's really good.
This weekend is a busy one with a number of runners up and down the country, including 2 of the stable's stars. Lady Buttons is heading for Doncaster.
She's got her own solarium, and them bright lights at the back that come on the night, you know, so they're like white light, they're really, really bright light, just to try and make her seasons a bit more in sync. She's 10, and her last race was actually the best race ever, so I'm not in any massive rush to retire her, because it was actually the best run. She just keeps winning. Everything's just very straightforward with her. She's no bother at all.
Which couldn't be said of Topville Ben.
He was a really quirky, awkward horse to deal with. He was a runaway, you could barely ride him up the gallops. And now he's absolutely grand. Well, Jenny's done a really good job with him, but he was very tricky.
If this weekend goes well, both will head to the Cheltenham Festival, Topville Ben in the Gold Cup. Success there would be another big step forward for the yard.
I felt like it was a massive breakthrough to have horses good enough to run every day at the festival. And this year, hopefully, we're going with a few bits of chances, and that's what it's all about.